The year is 1998, a small town nestled in the heart of America. The Thompson family, known for their warmth and laughter, is about to face their worst nightmare. Their world, once filled with the joy of a newborn baby girl, will soon be shrouded in a silence as chilling as the cold November air. Baby Sophie Thompson, just 6 months old, vanishes from her crib. Her disappearance, swift and inexplicable, leaves a void more profound than any parent should endure. Broken and desperate, the family clings to the hope of her return, their hearts aching with every passing moment. The night Sophie disappeared began like any other. It was a calm, peaceful night with no sign of the tragedy to come. The family had just finished dinner. Only empty plates and glasses remained on the table. The aroma of home-cooked food lingered in the air. Laughter echoed through the house as they played games by the fireplace. The children squealed with delight. The adults smiled, enjoying the moment. Upstairs, in her crib, Sophie slept soundly, her tiny chest rising and falling with each peaceful breath. She was safe, surrounded by love. Her mother, Sarah, peeked in on her one last time before retiring for the night. She stood by the crib, watching her daughter, her heart filled with warmth. A goodnight kiss, a soft whisper of love, and Sarah retreated to her own room, unaware that it would be the last time she would see her baby girl in her cradle. She closed the door, expecting the night to pass peacefully. Hours later, a piercing scream shattered the stillness of the night. It was Sarah. Her cry echoed through the house, rousing everyone. She had woken up in a cold sweat, a mother's intuition screaming that something was terribly wrong. Her heart pounded and she couldn't ignore the feeling. Rushing to Sophie's room, she felt her heart slam against her ribs, fear constricting her throat. The crib was empty. Panic seized her as she realized her worst fear had become a reality. Panic overwhelmed Sarah. She frantically searched the house, her cries for help echoing through the empty rooms. Her husband, Mark, jolted awake, his mind struggling to grasp the chaos that had descended upon them. The house, once a haven of love and laughter, now trembled with their terror. They called the police. Sirens pierced the quiet night as officers swarmed their home, their faces grim, their questions relentless. Every corner was searched, every shadow scrutinized, but Sophie was gone. It was as if she'd never been there at all. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. The search for Sophie became a relentless pursuit involving hundreds of people, a race against time that seemed to slip away like grains of sand. The police, initially optimistic, grew increasingly baffled. They couldn't find a single lead. There were no signs of forced entry, no ransom demands, no witnesses. It was as if the earth had simply swallowed Sophie whole. Her disappearance left everyone in shock. The media descended upon the small town, bringing the case to national attention, broadcasting Sophie's story across the country. Her angelic face, her smile, her innocent eyes stared out from television screens and newspapers, tugging at the heartstrings of millions, a constant reminder of the tragedy that had befallen the Thompson family. People brought flowers and candles, offering their support. The townspeople, united in grief and desperation, organized search parties, refusing to give up hope, combing through fields, forests, and abandoned buildings, hoping to find something, anything that could help bring Sophie home. They clung to the hope of finding even the smallest clue, the faintest trace of the missing child. Any discovery could be the key to unraveling the mystery, to bringing Sophie back. As time passed and leads ran cold, whispers began to circulate. Speculation, some plausible, others bordering on the absurd, filled the void left by the lack of answers. Had Sophie been abducted by a stranger, a drifter passing through town? Or was someone closer to home involved? Rumors spread like wildfire, casting a shadow of suspicion over neighbors, friends, even family members. The weight of suspicion, heavy and suffocating, fell upon the Thompson family. Their grief, already unbearable, was compounded by the relentless scrutiny of the public eye, their every move analyzed, every word dissected. The nightmare they were living had become a public spectacle, their pain put on display. The police, despite their best efforts, seemed no closer to finding Sophie. They worked tirelessly, pursuing every lead, but to no avail. Every lead they followed turned into a dead end, each flicker of hope extinguished like a dying ember. Time went on, and desperation grew. Psychics offered their services, their visions as varied and unreliable as the stars in the night sky. They promised answers, but their predictions yielded no results. Armchair detectives emerged from the woodwork, their theories often more outlandish than helpful. They debated and speculated, but it only seemed to muddy the waters. The case, once front-page news, slowly faded from the headlines, replaced by newer tragedies, fresher horrors. Journalists moved on to other stories, leaving the family behind. But for the Thompson family, time did little to dull the pain. They continued to hope and pray for Sophie's return. Sophie's absence was a constant ache in their hearts, a gaping wound that refused to heal. Every day without her was an agonizing reminder of their loss. Years turned into decades. The memory of Sophie, once a bright flame, flickered like a candle in the wind, threatening to be extinguished by the relentless march of time. The community, once united in grief, slowly began to move on, their lives returning to a semblance of normalcy. But for the Thompsons, there would be no return to normalcy. The silence of Sophie's absence was deafening, a constant reminder of their loss. Their home, once filled with the echoes of her laughter, now stood as a mausoleum to their grief. And then, just when all hope seemed lost, a faint glimmer appeared on the horizon. A new detective, assigned to the cold case, uncovered a piece of evidence that had been overlooked for years. A seemingly insignificant detail, but one that could potentially shed light on the mystery that had haunted the Thompson family for so long. Could this be the breakthrough they had been waiting for? The key to unraveling the mystery of that fateful night? The Thompson family, their hearts torn between hope and fear, dared to believe that they might finally learn what happened to their precious Sophie. The new lead, though promising, ultimately proved to be another dead end. The trail had gone cold once more, the mystery of Sophie's disappearance as impenetrable as ever. The Thompsons, their hopes dashed once again, were left to grapple with the agonizing possibility that they might never know the truth. Time, unable to heal all wounds, dulled the sharp edges of their grief. They learned to live with the unbearable loss, finding moments of solace amidst the pain. But the memory of Sophie lingered, a ghost in the corridors of their lives. Was Sophie out there somewhere, living a life that had been stolen from her? Or had she met a more sinister fate? These questions continued to haunt them, their unanswered pleas echoing in the void. The mystery of Sophie Thompson's disappearance remained unsolved, a chilling reminder that even in the most ordinary of places, darkness can lurk, and the most unthinkable horrors can become reality. The empty cradle stood as a silent sentinel, a testament to a love that had endured the unbearable loss. And the Thompson family, forever bound by their shared tragedy, continued to search for answers, clinging to the fragile hope that one day the truth would be revealed. The question remained, would justice ever be served? Or would Sophie's disappearance remain an unsolved mystery, a chilling tale whispered on the wind?